Hello and welcome to grammar class. Today's lesson is absolute phrase versus a positive phrase. We know that a phrase is a group of words without a subject-verb combination. The absolute phrase consists of a noun or a pronoun plus participle plus its object. In other words, an absolute phrase is basically a noun phrase. But why is it called an absolute phrase? Well, because it modifies a whole sentence and not a specific word. So we understand that an absolute phrase modifies an absolute sentence by adding some information to it. The absolute phrase serves various purposes. The absolute phrase is used to emphasize or add some details to the sentence. It's also used to explain a reason or condition for the statement in the sentence. Please remember that an absolute phrase may come at the beginning or in the middle or even at the end of a sentence to modify it. Now up there on your screen are some examples of the absolute phrase for a better understanding. The sun having set, farmers returned home. In this sentence, the sun having set is an absolute phrase. It's a noun phrase consisting of the noun the sun and the perfect participle having set. Remember, an absolute phrase is a phrase, it's not a complete clause or a sentence. In the first sentence, the absolute phrase the sun having set modifies the entire clause farmers returned home and not a specific word. It expresses the condition for the farmers to return home. In other words, the absolute phrase the sun having set means after the sun had set. The train having departed from the station, the hawkers fell silent. In this sentence, the train having departed from the station is an absolute phrase. It modifies the entire following clause, the hawkers fell silent. But how? Here the absolute phrase the train having departed from the station indicates the condition or the backdrop for the hawkers to fall silent. In the next sentence, it being Sunday is an absolute phrase. It consists of the pronoun it followed by the present participle being. Here the absolute phrase indicates the reason why I stayed at home. As it was Sunday, I stayed at home. The absolute phrase may occur in the middle of the sentence as well. The mother, her children having returned from school, started cooking for them. Her children having returned from school is the absolute phrase here. It consists of the noun children and the perfect participle having returned and the prepositional phrase from school. It indicates the reason why the mother started cooking for them. Her children having returned from school means after the children had returned from school. Which company would you prefer to join? The CTC being equal. You see, in this sentence, the absolute phrase the CTC being equal occurs at the end of the sentence. We can understand that an absolute phrase does not modify a specific word in a sentence, but the entire sentence itself. We shall meet again, God willing. Once again, the absolute phrase is placed at the end of the sentence. It consists of the noun God and the present participle willing. Here the absolute phrase God willing modifies the whole sentence we shall meet again by expressing a certain condition. Here God willing means if God is willing. Now what about the appositive phrase? The word appositive means placed right next to. Basically, an appositive phrase is a noun phrase. An appositive phrase is placed right after a noun that it describes or identifies in a sentence. But what purpose does an appositive phrase serve? We have already understood that an appositive phrase is a noun phrase that comes right after a noun to describe or identify it in a sentence. But why is it called an appositive phrase? Because the word appositive means placed right after. It modifies its preceding noun by providing some additional but not essential information about it. Which also means that even if you remove the appositive phrase from the sentence, the basic meaning of the sentence is not affected. That's why an appositive phrase is also known as a non-essential or non-restrictive phrase. It just gives some extra or additional information about its preceding or antecedent noun. Now there are 3 examples of the appositive phrase on your screen. New Delhi, the capital of India, is a historical city. You see, in this sentence, the phrase the capital of India stands right next to the noun New Delhi to identify it. Hence, it's an appositive phrase here. Since the appositive phrase provides a non-essential or additional information about the preceding noun that it defines or identifies, it's set off with a pair of commas in the sentence. Similarly, in the sentence, David, my best friend, did not attend my birthday party, the phrase my best friend is in apposition to the noun David to identify it. We understand that the noun David and the noun phrase my best friend refer to one and the same person. In this way, my best friend is an appositive phrase in this sentence. But even without this phrase in the sentence, the basic meaning of the sentence is not affected. Here it just provides an additional but non-essential piece of information about David. Hence, the phrase is set off with a pair of commas. In the last example, we visited the Taj Mahal, one of the 7 wonders of the world. The phrase one of the 7 wonders of the world is placed right next to the noun the Taj Mahal to modify or describe it in the sentence. Hence, it's another example of the appositive phrase. In these examples, we also see that the appositive phrase may occur in the middle or even at the end of the sentence. So far, we have learnt that appositive phrases are non-restrictive. They provide non-essential information about the noun they modify. And such non-essential or non-restrictive appositive phrases are set off with commas in the sentence. However, an appositive may also be restrictive or may also provide some essential information about the noun that it modifies. Now let's study the difference between restrictive and non-restrictive appositives with the help of examples. I have many pets, but my pet Ginger is the most loyal one. In this example, the appositive Ginger provides some essential information about its antecedent, my pet, so it's defining or restrictive. I mean, without mentioning the name Ginger, we cannot understand which pet is the most loyal one, because I have many pets. Please note here, for an essential or restrictive appositive, commas are not used to set it off. But in the next example, I have just one pet, hence it's not necessary to mention its name. My pet Ginger is very funny. In this sentence, the appositive Ginger provides additional but non-essential information about its antecedent, my pet. Hence, it's set off with a pair of commas in the sentence. There are many search engines, but the search engine Google is the most popular among them. Here the appositive or the name Google is essential to identify the most popular search engine. Hence, it's a restrictive or defining appositive providing an essential piece of information about the foregoing noun that it modifies. And as I said earlier, we do not use commas to separate such a restrictive appositive. But in the next example, the same appositive Google provides an additional but non-essential information. Hence, it's a non-restrictive appositive set off with commas. Here, even without this appositive, the basic meaning of the sentence is clear. That's the end of today's class. Hopefully, you liked the video. Please be sure to like, comment and share our videos. And do not forget to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell for more such grammar content. Thanks for watching.